Hello, Trinity friends and family. It's me, Ryan, here with another quarantine daily video devotional for you. What makes Friday so good? We've been going through the Holy Week, Jesus' last week before his death and resurrection, and today is Good Friday. It's the day Jesus died. Why do we call it good then? Growing up, I used to wear this little necklace that had a cross on it. And one day, a friend of mine at school challenged me over wearing that particular necklace. He said, "Why do you Christians wear the cross? And why do you adorn jewelry with the cross? That's a torture device. We don't go around wearing guillotines or any other type of ancient torture, death devices, so why do you wear the cross?" As a teenager, that really stumped me. It occurred to me at that time just how terrible the cross was and what happened to Jesus' body there. And it really was terrible. It must have been terrifying to observe it on that day so long ago. Why do we go around wearing crosses? And why do we call today good then? The passage I'd like to read from comes from Matthew chapter 27, verses 45 through 54. And I think in these passage there is an answer for us over why we call today good and why we wear crosses on our jewelry. Would you read with me? From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "This man is calling for Elijah." At once one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the other said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, and the rocks were split. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly this man was God's Son." You know, so often we Christians want to skip ahead in the story. We want to get to Easter Sunday before we've gone through Good Friday. We want to get to the happily ever after sooner. But it is good for us today to linger in the shadow of the cross. There is no resurrection without death. In one of his greatest sermons, Fred Craddock shares the story of a church and a pastor who tried to skip over the death of Jesus. Every year this church would buy lilies, like our church does, like lots of churches do, to decorate the front of the stage. The lilies cost $10, and they would put up 500 or more lilies every year, and church members would pay for these lilies, just like in our church, like we do. But one year, a lady went up there to get her lily and discovered something shocking. The lilies were fake. And in fact, the church and the pastor had been using the same plastic lilies year after year. And they had been paying $10 every year for the same lily. Well, it caused an uproar in the church, and there was a meeting over it. How much money had the church swindled from the people over these fake lilies? And the pastor justified it by saying, well, one, it's really a frugal idea. We were saving money by doing it. And we needed to have this money for good causes. And then his next reason was theological. He said, these fake lilies never die. And that's a good thing because Christ is alive today and these lilies are always in bloom. So therefore, this is a good theological thing to do because we don't want to waste Easter. And that's what Fred's whole sermon was about, is a waste of Easter. And he reminds us in that sermon that there is no resurrection without death. There is no Easter Sunday without Good Friday. We call today good. Jesus' death is good for us because it means that life is made possible through it. And it means for us that those of us who will die with Christ will also be raised with him one day too. Don't skip over Good Friday. Don't skip over the death of Jesus. Today is good because Jesus died for you, so that all of you who die with Christ will also be raised with Christ. I love you all and I'm praying for you today. If you need anything, call me. I'd love to pray for you. If you would today, text me your prayer requests and let me know what's going on in your life. Also, don't forget that this Sunday is Easter Sunday. We're doing our live service at 11 a.m. We're taking the Lord's Supper on that day, so prepare your elements. And we're also asking you to dress up and take a selfie of you and your family watching the service and post it. But I'm so excited to celebrate Easter Sunday with you. But today it's Good Friday. Spend some time in silence. Linger. Sit beneath the silence of the cross.